Yeah, but sometimes that can happen by accident. The things with trading, you can go unpunished for a long period of time. You think you're doing the right thing, and until you're not. So we need to make sure that, because he's doing so well, I don't want him to mess his account up. Yeah, and we genuinely are unfazed. So when people were worrying about things going on, I genuinely wasn't even an ounce of concern.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing there is as well to mention that we're an education company that has started a fund as opposed to a fund that started an education company.
So when you see everybody taking shortcuts for such a long period of time, the key to success is not that complicated, you just have to stick at it. Success in trading is not just about you get your 100k account and you think it's all going to be fine. It does not work that way.
At some point it starts to accelerate, because then we have X amount of people trading 400k, for instance, or whatever. They're then hopping on with other people because they know them within the fund, right? And they're able to help them out with their experiences and stuff. So what ends up happening is the growth helps the other growth kind of continue, because everyone's all in it together. It works out for everyone's benefit, for those that have leveled up correctly along the way.
We're going to look back, let's say in 3 years from now, so many things are going to change. Look how much has changed in the prop firm world in just like 3 months. So much, it's going to be a completely different look in 3 years from now. I don't even know what it would be truly, just at the pace that it's changing. All I do know is the things that we're in control of, our commitment and what we're doing. And we'll make sure that when we look back, all of our students are looked after, and they will appreciate so much more the sustainability factor of all the things that you guys have been instilling into them, whether it be through webinars, just everything that we do. It's a holistic approach that it always has been. Did you just answer it on WhatsApp?
Go on.
Not on the computer?
No, on my phone. It's because my volume's up.
I was going to say, people that use WhatsApp on the computer are weird as fuck.
Nah, I don't do that.
Abdi just got offended right now. Touching on from last week with what's happening, it seems like things are just getting worse and worse in that arena. What do you think is going to happen? Like, I'm so grateful that we've planned for the future. I think about 3 years now. We've always planned for the long term. What are you seeing right now?
Well, I mean, there's more and more payout denials happening across the board, obviously with some firms more than others, but we never obviously dealt with that because, ours is actually backed by capital. And the biggest problem that these prop firms will run into is not just dilution of more and more prop firms kind of coming in and then trade copiers and people using it, but it's also how to monetize the data.
Do you know what's going to be even worse? And this is like to all of you, like to be thinking about. As soon as it, like, say for example, if there's one master person controlling lots of different accounts, it's all a facade, because as soon as that one person struggles, or two or three or whatever it is, all of them are then finished. I think we're very, very close to quite a few more people getting to the next stage. We just had a few, we had Canal pass, we just had George pass. And I mean, his story, he was like, again, he was in the same situation, 500k of third party funding gone, but showed character and was still able to get, now he's got his 60k account, portfolio asset manager. But it just goes to show you, like, that can be taken away from you. Ibby, you've always been a big advocate of doing things the right way in the first place. You're coaching a lot of people just like Abdu on a one-to-one level. What are you seeing with people on the fund that you're dealing with regular?
I mean, there's a mixture of things, right? So you'll have traders that, for example, they just listen, they crack on with it. You'll have the opposite end of the spectrum where you'll give them a set protocol to follow, and 2 weeks later they've changed it. So I think it's not necessarily the tools they've got, it's the person individual themselves. If you just listen and you keep things as simple as possible, you don't overcomplicate things, there's no fancier answer to it. I think that's the best way to move forward. So I've got my own instincts as to why our fund's extremely successful, but from your perspective of running it in the back end for so long, why do you think we are that successful as a fund?
Yeah, it'd be essentially very, very good question. I think it comes down to probably one or two things. Number one is the fact that we actually treat them like humans. So we treat them as people rather than as members, and we'll reinstate their accounts. If someone's having a bad week, they'll probably message me or yourself or Abdul or Mark. And it's little tweaks that we've made in the community.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing there is as well to mention that we're an education company that has started a fund as opposed to a fund that started an education company, which is so much different.
Yeah. It took about 2 years to put in place, and it's now been running for nearly 3 years. So this March is 3 years, we're 3 anniversary. And we've got some great plans. So we're going to be opening it up to the members of the public. We want people with different strategies, and we're going to be arming them with the same processes that they're learning within our fund, and watch how they become so much more profitable.
So this is the thing, right? When you want to build something big, it has to be granular. You have to check up on it. You have to nourish it. You have to give it care. It's not just going to happen overnight. The reason why we're able to hit these type of milestones and these goals is because of the regular work that we have as a team. But the reason why we're able to do it is we're so granular at every level. Right, is this working? Are we getting these traders to the next level? Or is there something that we need to do? The last thing we want is people leveling up, they've got this money and then they lose it. Like, we want people to scale up sustainably. And what we've done over the past 3 years is a true testament as to why we've been able to unlock this level of capital. And it's 100% going to attribute, when we go back and we tick off that 100 million goal, we will go back, we will reverse engineer. Right, why did we become successful? We didn't take shortcuts. We never do. We've never taken a shortcut in 7 years. We never will. We're always going to build things for the long run. Before we move further into this episode, if you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. The more you invest into the channel, the more the channel invests back into you. We love creating these videos and we really appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, so this one is at 2 in the morning on Australia 200. I was asleep at this point. But we've got 1, 2, 3, pull back, broken back into daily structure, 15-minute time frame. We've got this little consolidation sideways. So the entry would have been there, little sideways hover, and then that would have tapped me in. And the management is so simple on this one, because if you look at the bottom of the range on the left here to the top of that structure, you've got 90% right there. So let me just put it to the T, and then you can see this trade. Bang on.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Have you got this on watch?
Not this week, but yeah, I can see what you're looking at.
You want to add it on watch?
No, not on a Friday.
Why not?
Because that's where all the banks take the profit and I'll just lose. No, I don't want to tamper with it. You know, it's been a solid 2% week. Could have been more. Missed the euro dollar. Could have taken the pound dollar one as well. I would say this week is probably a good 4 to 5% of missed profit.
Yeah.
But still 2%. Still been a great month so far, and we'll move on. So just finished up with the fund. Everything is good. We know exactly where we're at, and it's important to have those regular check-ins. But we've got a few other more long-term things that we need to discuss. So change of environment, just heading to, essentially it's a hotel, but it's a regular spot that we go to. It's super low-key, very quiet, and you can just get a lot of focused work done. So we're going to head there now, and then we're going to go on a drive.
So yeah, Q1 nearly done, mate. Talk to me. What's been standout for you this year?
I think focus. Honestly, focus. The reason why is that there's so many distractions this year. Look, if you're going to be really successful, you have to understand that if there's loads of opportunity that year, you're equally going to be just as distracted. But what's happened is that everyone is so dialed in, that's why the results are happening. Like Q1 has just flown by. What do you think is going to happen from now into the rest of the year? But because of what we've done with Monk Mode Month, the momentum is just going to carry on. That's what makes it almost, I don't want to underplay it and say it's easy, because nothing is easy, but it has made it easier because the mentality is already there. What do you think is going to be the key to the next level? We've already unlocked levels of funding. We have the team, myself, Abdul, and Ibi. We've got it covered in terms of content resources. The students are so looked after at this stage. What do you think is going to be the next catalyst as we get to the next level?
So I think as we scale up, processes, systems, so getting a proper system dialed in for the funding, for the people from external outside of Falcon that can come in, apply for funding, and go through the entire process, so they get the same service as the current Falcon students on mass scale. And that's, as you know, we're working on that right now. So we're currently beta testing the new dashboard for all of the funding students.
Dashboard's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So we can give them what we're currently giving them, the service, the webinars at mass scale, and keep maintaining that high level of pass, and then keeping your account after passing. So it's not just about passing, but how many of our people, from your perspective, how many people do you think we've got that have kept our account for more than 3 months, that have passed?
Over 90%.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy, because 100% usually fail within 3 months. Very few, actually I'd say about 99% fail. I've heard of 1 or 2 people that have kept their account for more than a year with one of the big prop firms. With us, it's the normality.
Right, beautiful cappuccino. Just finished up another meeting. It's been a productive day so far. Actually got so many things done already, but a lot of the stuff on the fund that was super, super important. It's Friday today, so these are my busiest days. So I'll be back in the office in a little while, and I'll be analysing all the way until 11 PM. Of course, I'm always doing the SMB. So lots of these things, these routines have to come into play. But Friday is always a busy day. I like to get a lot of things done. But more importantly today, the future of the fund is now expanding at such a fast pace. There are so many meetings that are going on between the team. if we're going to build towards that 100 million, there's other layers of infrastructure that has to go on along the way. It's not just you get loads of students to be successful. There's risk assessment. There is understanding how we're going to hedge against that. That's why we allow people that are in rewired trading different strategies, because in order for a fund to be successful, we can't have everybody taking the same position. And that's part of things that people don't think about. So when you're trying to manage everything, yes, it can be chaotic, but I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't care if I have to work till 11, 12, 7 days a week. We're getting it done. Before we get any further into this episode, make sure you are subscribed to the Market Brief. It is our free weekly newsletter. Every single Monday morning, you will get free weekly analysis delivered straight to your inbox. A few minutes a day and you'll be up to date with the financial markets. Links are in the description to subscribe to the Market Brief. And this is how they're going to win. 7 figures on the in-house fund, right? So whether they're through Rewired or whether they're in Falcon, right? 7 figures is the goal to aim towards. Very generous profit split. They're going to be making a decent amount of money. Then it's going to be the personal capital, right? So if we have all of our traders, which are already aiming for it, 6 figures in their personal capital. Now, I know that's not going to happen overnight, but when you're trading 400K, 500K, or even 7 figures, and you're making 30, 40 grand a month, well, that starts to add up quite quickly. So you having even 100K in your personal, that doesn't become unreasonable or unrealistic, right? So we get them to that because that's the safety. So they've got the 7 figures with us, they've got the 6-figure personal capital, and they've got some savings. That's why we take them through all these financial models when it comes to golden number exercise, having a certain amount of savings for your self-sufficiency, so you're covered. So when our traders are going full time, they're not messing it up and then going back to work. That's embarrassing. We don't want our traders going full time and then going back to work 6 months later because they didn't figure this shit out. But that's why we're going to hit the 100 million in the next 3 years.
Here we're actually talking about one of our 6-figure traders, and we're going over their trades and seeing what tweaks and what advice we can give them. And that's essentially what you get access to in the funding program. You come in on the assessment amount, you get access to the webinars, the Discord. As you move up, it's more bespoke help, it's more intimate. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are not only going to keep their accounts beyond 3 months, but scale up into 6 and 7 figures.
Success in trading is not just about you get your 100K account and you think it's all going to be fine. Like, it does not work that way. You need systems, you need structure, and you need to know what you're doing. And if you think you're going to get to making 30 grand a month, you don't know what to do with it. There is a plan in place. This is where the 6-figure club within the funded traders club and the 7-figure club comes into place. You're going to have resources, what Ibrahim alluded to. All of this is figured out because we're actually building a long-term plan. I'm telling you now, the funded traders club will be the most elite and the most well thought out club for traders worldwide, because all of this infrastructure has been figured out ahead of time. We're not thinking about how to give discount on assessments. We're not thinking about how to lure people in to gamify it and build terrible bad habits in the process. And that's what you're being influenced by right now. And these people that are influencing you to do that, they don't care about your well-being. They don't care about if you mess things up in 2 to 3 years from now and you haven't got these things figured out. So everything's in place. And when these traders scale up, they do it in the right way.
And it's little things you do, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you get a lot of people, and especially within the community or people that we meet when we're out and about, when we're in Australia, for example, and when you're in Canada, it's the same thing. It's like, if you do something really well, if you do small things really well, if you make instant decisions when you're out and you want to pick a meal and you're not spending ages and analysing every single thing, you start to make instant decisions in your life, in your trading, in your career, and you start to see more success and more luck, in quote, comes to you because of those neural pathways and how you program them.
People don't know about these hot pickled eggs. These are a game changer, free range. Anyway, even when you're looking at the vegetables and you're looking at all of the produce, you notice the difference. If you're going to go to a local supermarket and then you see the quality versus the taste and nutrition here, do you know what it reminds me of? There's a study out there where it's something like it takes now 30 more apples to eat to get the same nutrition what it would have done 20 years ago. I'm paraphrasing here, but the same thing. So it just shows you that you need to be aware of the things you're putting in your body even more. I think a lot of people, when you talk about gut, you talk about intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people overstep their intuition from a lack of experience. So then how do you make sure that you're not overstepping your intuition? Well, you get around people that have more experience than you, that are in the position that you wish to be. You get good at asking questions. You say, look, you're in the position I wish to be, and that's why I would say, be careful who you listen to. If they don't have what you want, then why are you listening to their advice? Why are you listening to what they got to say?
Mate, proper farm shop vibes, isn't it? Guys, here's actually no, don't show the cakes.
Yeah. What's that cake?
Mate, it's got like starch, xanum gum, fucking all of the shit.